Thank you, French Shabbat Shalom. Doctor, my eyes have seen the years and the slow parade of fears without crying. This week's Parsha is a medical one. It's about going to the doctor, kind of. Tazri, she will bear seed. One of the first laws given in Leviticus is about a woman and her giving birth to a male or a female, and how long she'll be considered impure and what to do about it. And the length of time was different for male and female. It is also only the second instance of menstruation in the Torah. The first was the Rachel-Laban household god incident. And believe it or not, this tells us something. This tells us that menstruation was a specific condition with particular legal status. It's different than many other things. And friends, the bulk of this parsha is not about menstruation. It's about leprosy. But menstruation involves something very different, enough to make Laban not search for his teraphim. Blood. Blood is intimidating to males. It is mysterious. And most men actually look away when they go to the doctor and have blood drawn for tests. Is it because we associate blood with guilt? As Lady Macbeth said, out damned spot. Blood, my friends, is powerful, physically, emotionally, symbolically. It's a natural part of a woman's life from the time of puberty, visible monthly. But for the male, it is a sign that something's wrong, and it means illness or injury. We talked last week how one of the key kashrut rules wasn't mentioned yet, the prohibition of eating food with blood in it. Blood is the life force, and because of the original intent to ensure we understood the sacredness of life, we mustn't consume it. And of course, friends, the Hebrew word for blood is dam. And of course, the word for man, person, or human, earth, and red is Adam. Man came from earth, so that makes sense. But red, well, blood is red. The only difference is in the pronunciation. This parsha tells us that if we have certain medical problems, we're to get treated, but we're not treated by a physician. We are treated by the priest. The priest was the doctor. There was a connection in the ancient world that we've lost between the spirit and the body. You didn't treat them independently. Many native peoples the world over still takes the view that illness transcends the physical and is connected to the spiritual, the emotional, and intellectual. And accordingly we were treated to advice of the local witch doctor by Alvin and the Chipmunks. My friend the witch doctor, he taught me what to say. My friend the witch doctor, he taught me what to do. Ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah. Ting-tang, walla-walla, bing-bang. Friends, this parsha has been translated using the term leprosy, and so people think it's about leprosy. But it wasn't describing leprosy. And modern translators and commentators don't use that anymore. Unfortunately, almost every translated Torah or Tanakh that you pick up still says it. It was really referring to skin blanching, a change of pigmentation to whiteness. This is what God had instructed Moses as one of the signs that he was to make. If questions, put his hand in his cloak, pull it out, and his hand would be white, put it back in, pull it out, and it would not be. But they used the term leprosy in most translations. And when you look at this parsha, this whole business about leprosy, because the whole section is about skin disorders, the translated emphasis on leprosy takes away from its real meaning. It is talking about problems which are ones of the things that set you apart and make you feel disgusted and different. We judge by what we see. We make immediate decisions, not based on fact, based on a nanosecond of perception. And someone with dermatological problems appears unclean to us. And we project bias and prejudice from our immediate judgment. So this section is not about disease. None of these sections are about disease. These are about holy and secular. The use of skin conditions points to certain things. This is not medicine. It's not about our idea of illness. This is not about a punishment from God. This is not about morality. It's about impurity. Holy and secular. Pure and impure. The concern of Leviticus. And we talked about that last week. We were given a clue to it earlier. In Leviticus 12:6, there is a fascinating mistranslation. And when the days of her purity are completed, whether for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring a yearling lamb for a burnt offering. This is after the period of having given birth. And the time of impurity is twice as long if a daughter than if a son. It's an automatic. Birth makes a woman impure. Is it because of the blood? I don't know. But what I do know is that the translation of this section says the sacrifice to be made is a sin offering. And so we've associated birth with sin. And friends, the Hebrew word is chatat. And while translated almost universally as a sin offering, it really means an offense offering. Surely the woman has done nothing which can be called a sin, but the state of ritual impurity imposed biologically does point to a possible violation of the sanctum and could be considered, at most, an offense to the cult and its divine object. There's another message here, my friend. It is about bringing back the impure and the infirm back into the community. The whole point in the days that they were to be impure and treated was so that they could be brought back. We must reach out to bring back those who are not part of the community anymore. And who is in this group? It's not about skin disease. It's about those who are excluded. It's about those made to feel impure. And in today's society, that would primarily be the handicapped and the deaf. Some synagogues have installed ramps to allow the handicapped onto the bima. Some use balloons during the high holy days so the deaf can feel the vibrations when the shofar blows. These community members probably didn't feel included. I'm sure to them, they are as the impure. We must continue to be inclusive and keep and serve the community and not discard anyone. Friends, the next time you see the priest, the rabbi, the shaman, the doctor, the witch doctor, think of the words of the Beatles. Dr. Robert, you're a new and better man. He helps you to understand. He does everything he can. Dr. Robert. Shabbat Shalom.